Hello everybody and welcome back to another Lidosta Riga International Airport update. We are here for we have a different aircraft here, so I guess I always say the updates are kind of special, but this one we do have one different aircraft to get into today, so you can look forward to that. Other than that, it's pretty much the same Riga stuff here, but always exciting to come back here to Riga, and especially today because we have a very cool aircraft that we'll be getting into today. So we'll be getting started over here where we have this Air Baltic Fokker 50 right here. This one is currently taxiing in after arriving from Vilnius and will be heading out to Amsterdam later today. Of course, these are no longer operating for Air Baltic. This is just a model I have to use here because, I mean, Air Baltic 1/400 scale models aren't really that much of a thing. There are only 5 of them that were produced, and we have all 5 of them, or, well, 5 models have ever been released. Like, there are more than 5 that have been produced. Yeah, so we have to use some retro in that respect, but that is why this Air Baltic Fokker 50 is here, but it is a really cool model right here, and yeah, glad to represent it right here, arriving in from Vilnius, Lithuania. And then moving along here, we have Norwegian Air on their 737-800 right here. This one is just finished the boarding process, arrived in from Stockholm, Arlanda, and it will be heading back out to Stockholm on a turnaround for this aircraft right here. One of the very common routes we see here on Norwegian, and yeah, Stockholm, Oslo. Those are really the main 2 here, which I guess you would expect to see. So yeah, another Stockholm turn for this aircraft, pretty common one that we see here in these airport updates. But as I always say, it is a very fantastic model by NG Models right here. Superb mold, and just a great job on all the paint and the colors and everything. Always looks great in these airport updates. And now moving over to the other side here of the B gates here, we have our pair of regular Air Baltic aircraft right here. Our only 2 regular ones here. So on the bottom of your screen there, we have the older livery A220-300 without the green going beyond the tail there. So this is the main difference of the 2 Air Baltic liveries that are flying today. Most of them are in the newer livery, which you can see in the back, but there are still some that are in the older livery, which is in front, and really the only difference is that the green, and the newer one continues down a little bit further, but that's literally the only difference. But anyways, the older livery version came in from Budapest, and it will be heading out to Brussels, Belgium. And then behind that one, we of course have the newer livery, and this one is in from Paris Charles de Gaulle, and this one will be later making the flight out to Zurich, Switzerland. And then finally here in the B gates, we have this Ryanair 737-800 right here. This is with the blended winglets. This one arrived in from Gothenburg, and it will be later heading out to Paris-Beauvais. And that is the airport that Ryanair flies to in Paris, which is kind of far away from Paris, but I mean, they get cheaper landing fees there, so it makes more sense for them to fly there, I guess. But I would recommend, if you're going to do Riga to Paris flying on Air Baltic, because it will bring you right to Paris Charles de Gaulle, and Air Baltic is a lot better than Ryanair. But anyways, still glad to have Ryanair here. And again, they make a double appearance today with both of my Ryanair models making an appearance today. So actually, our next aircraft is the one that I just alluded to a moment ago. So we'll cut to that one in a moment. And then here, as promised, we have the Ryanair 737-800 with the split scimitar winglets. This is the NG model, the new NG models one. And Ryanair have started to put split scimitars on some of their aircraft. Their 737's kind of doing a southwest right there. So this aircraft, of course, having the split scimitars. The actual aircraft did not, but these are the only 2 Ryanair models that I have, so I had to make do with what I had here. This one arrived in from Manchester, and it will be heading out to Dublin later. Fitting, because this model is Irish registered. The actual aircraft wasn't. It was actually operated by Buzz, which is the Polish subsidiary of Ryanair, which I don't know why they're operating flights to Manchester and Dublin, but I guess that's their prerogative. So, yeah, this one operated by Buzz, but is Ryanair heading out to Dublin. And I know the plane in the foreground is very, very exciting, but we're going to hold our horses just a second there. Go in the back there where we have the blank A320, right? They are definitely not a Dragonair A320. It is a blank A320, which is operated by Avion Express Malta, operating for Air Baltic, on a lease, of course. This one arrived in from Athens, and it will be heading out to Milan. And now we get to move on to the 757 right here, the Condor 757-300. This came in. This actual aircraft came in. This same one, although it is no longer operated by Condor. It is now operated by Skyline Express Airline, and it's registered in Ukraine. So that's really interesting. I guess it is doing a charter. I'm so confused why this came in, but it is so cool because it literally is this exact same plane, now registered Uniform Romeo Sierra Lima Bravo. And so, yeah, that's really cool. But it was literally the same livery. Anyways, I've repeated myself 3 times now. This one arrived in from Antalya, Turkey, and it'll be heading out to Hurghada. So that's very interesting. This flight was operated before on a 737-800 for like a Turkish travel company or something. The plane was a 737-800, and it said goturkia.com on the side. So I assume it's a charter by like the same company, but it's a different airline. So that is very interesting right there. So yeah, Ukraine registered, and it was previously operated on Flight Radar 24. Like the airline little logo on the thing, it is Azure Air Ukraine. But it says that it's operated by a Skyline Express airline, and not airlines. It's just airline. It's so weird. And I don't know why this came in here, but I saw the livery. It looked like a Condor livery, so I thought I might check. And it literally was this exact plane, just in what it is today. So that is a very interesting story right here. But so glad to see the Condor 757, and I get to use this aircraft in actually a realistic connotation somewhat. So yeah, this one, like I said, came in from Antalya, and will be heading out to Hurghada. So very, very nice aircraft that we have in here. I'm kind of baffled by it, but it is great that we get to see this in the airport update. And now, kind of looking back on what we've just done, this will be our thumbnail image right here. It is very cool at Riga, where we can kind of get like these lineups of taxiing aircraft and also aircraft at the gates. I always love doing that in when modeling these airport updates, and you've probably seen that in a lot of the thumbnails, just because they provide some very cool lineups right here. But anyways, our next aircraft is this Air Baltic A220-300 in the Latvian flag livery, Latvijas Simskad. There are actually 2 of these, and the actual aircraft was in the other one, which is Yankee Lima Alpha Bravo November, and this is, as you can see, Charlie Sierra Lima. So they have 2, and I was assuming that this aircraft would be repainted into the regular Air Baltic livery, since they have the new Latvian flag livery, but I guess this one's still sticking around, so that's just a weird thing that Air Baltic is doing, and I think I addressed that in a previous airport update, but here it is once again. This one arrived in from Tallinn, Estonia, and this one will be heading out to Frankfurt in Germany later today. So this one is just taxiing in right now after arriving in from Estonia. So send the Latvian flag over to Estonia. That happens pretty frequently, actually. These state livery, or not state liveries, it's not Southwest, these country liveries, I suppose. Definitely they seem to be pretty frequently flying to like the fellow Baltic states, or the fellow cities of Tallinn and Vilnius, which maybe is just because there are a majority of the Air Baltic flights are to those cities. Well, not a majority, but a lot of Air Baltic flights go to those cities. They get a lot of service, but I mean, it is still pretty interesting to see that it is normally on those flights. But anyways, I'm kind of still rambling here. We have one more aircraft to hit on before we finish this airport update. And after we have the Latvian flag livery coming in from Estonia, of course, now we have the Estonian flag livery, which came in from London Gatwick. So this one arrived in from London Gatwick on the Air Baltic A220-300 in the Estonian flag livery. Very nice that this is also realistically represented in this airport update. Came in from London, and it will be heading back out to London Gatwick. A rare turnaround for Air Baltic. We never really see that here in these airport updates, but here it is on the London Gatwick turn. So that is very interesting right here, and it was on this same aircraft. So that is very fun, of course. So yeah, that'll do it for this airport update today. Thank you all for checking this one out. Hopefully it was very fun. I mean, the Condor was the highlight, of course, for me. Well, of course, it wasn't Condor. Skyline Express Airline was the highlight of the airport update, of course. But yeah, always fun to go back here to Riga, and don't anticipate stopping these updates anytime soon. So that'll do it for our airport update today. Thank you all for checking this one out, and I will see you tomorrow. As always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.